Greetings YouTube, LMS Tactical here again. Just loaded up another video, but I said I was going to make a couple. I wanted to break them up and tell you guys a cool little story and show you something kind of cool. You might notice my little silver bling bling. I'm going to share it with you. Here's what happened. So I've got a lot of really good friends, man, in the family, and just, you know, people that are friends of the family and whatnot. You know, I'm married to a Vietnamese woman. So one of my friends is a friend that I know through the marriage, and this guy, he's almost 70 years old, but he's just a really good guy. Call him Mr. Lum. That's not his name, but that's as close as that's, you know, when they have really hard names, we just come up with other shit. So, but this guy, he is from Vietnam, and he fought in the Vietnam War, of course, with the South Vietnamese. He was on our side, and he's what is called a, and I always have a hard time pronouncing it, but I'll do the best I can, a Montagnard. And what those are the indigenous, in case you don't know, for the younger people, those are the indigenous people that live in the highlands, in central highlands of Vietnam. They are like the American Indians are in North America, and they're sort of a kind of a different class all their own. They're not they're really a minority, and they live up in the jungle, up in the high jungle. They speak their own language. They're very dark-skinned, and they're very superstitious, and that's going to come into the story here in a second. So what happened is, during the Vietnam War, our special forces, aka Green Berets, they would go over there and they would train, you know, units of these Montagnard soldiers to help fight against the VC and the North Vietnamese. And these were some ferocious fighters, really good. And this guy, Mr. Lum, you know, he's really short. I mean, he barely comes up to my waist, man. And the guy's like a 5th degree black belt. Like I said, he's almost 70, and I wouldn't fuck with this guy. He's got the energy of a fucking 19-year-old. And the nicest guy you'll ever meet in your life. And it's just a real honor to know him. And he loves my family. He loves me like a brother. In fact, I'm looking forward to going to Vietnam. He has a house there, and he just built a house there. And, you know, very soon I'll be going there with him. And he's going to give me a tour that other people don't get. Because the Montagnards up in the mountains there, the normal Vietnamese people are afraid of them, because Vietnamese people are typically very superstitious people. And the Montagnards are these guys, they'll put curses on people. They've got blow darts and shit, man. They're very stealthy guerrilla fighters. Even the regime, the North Vietnamese, the communists that ended up taking over Vietnam, they don't fuck with them. The police don't fuck with them. They don't go up there and mess with them because they're very much afraid of these guys. If they don't kill you outright, they can put a fucking a whammo on your ass, and you know, you'll end up with a thumb sticking out of your forehead or some weird shit. But so when I go there, he's gonna take me up. If you don't know those guys, you don't go walking around up there. You just don't come back down. And he's gonna take me over there and take me to all these different battlefields and places that are interesting to me, things that I grew up, you know, listening to the news, and places like Khe Sanh, where the Marines were besieged, and all these different places that he fought that maybe they weren't. They're in places that normal tour guides won't take people, because the tour guides are afraid to get out there. All right, that was a little clumsy, and I'm sorry. Believe it or not, I just woke up. It's like 3:11 in the afternoon. I was up all night. It's standard procedure with me. Hang on. So he went back to, one of his daughters was getting married, and he's been back there for 2 months. And every time he comes back, he brings something really cool. Well, this time he wanted to bring me something very special and very hard to get. And it doesn't seem like much, but it's the magic that is. And I believe in this stuff, you know. I mean, I'm one of these guys, like, you know, I've had enough weird shit in my life to have. I'm very open-minded when it comes to ESP and superstition and that kind of thing. I mean, things that survive thousands of years typically have some truth behind them. So what they believe is, I can show you what this is right now, and then I'll tell you the story. This is a real silver chain, and this is a wild boar tusk. I mean, how cool is this? And this is, you know, the silver is engraved with dragons, and I don't know if you can see this. It's just beautiful. It's really well made, or not made, but put together. Now, the Montagnards believe that when you wear one of these, if it's prepared the proper way, it protects you from harm. Now watch me get my head blown off while I'm making this video. If that happens, then you'll know the answer as to whether or not this is true. But what happens is the wearer of these is protected if they're prepared the proper way and they come from the proper place. And as an interesting story, Mr. Lum was, you know, he fought and was in a hell of a lot of battles. I mean, he fought the whole time until the end of the war, and basically, he wore one of these. He wore one of these for the whole time he was there, and he was in all these horrendous battles, and he's still alive. And one particular story I want to tell you is that him and 3 other guys were in a lull. There was no battle raging, but they were in the Badlands, and they were sitting in a circle eating, and they were with the Special Forces unit. And so 4 guys, him and 3 others, are sitting around eating their sea rations or whatever, and out of the blue, an enemy mortar round came and landed almost right in the middle of them, and the mortar instantly killed the 3 guys that he was with, and Mr. Lum woke up in an American field hospital. He's okay. He has, to this day, he can pull shrapnel out of his head. He's got a scar under his eye. He's got shrapnel that works its way out of his body all the time, and he'll pull it out and show it to me. And so, you know, did that save his life? I don't know, but he believes it did. And so he's back there, and we're, you know, with today's technology, we're doing video chat and everything. And I was listening. I just got this last night. He just came back last night, and he's staying with us. And you know, I've been so excited to get this thing because I'm not a big gaudy necklace wearing guy, but I really like the thing, you know, the story behind this and the work he had to go through. Now in Vietnam, they sell these, and you can go look on, I did this last night. I went on eBay and was looking at them. I just put wild, you know, boar tusk, and just the tusk itself. Now you can get them for like 13 bucks, 14 bucks all day long. And as it turns out, they are one of the most mass-produced fakes that they sell over there in Vietnam and in Cambodia. They are so good at making them fake that they're made out of some kind of synthetic shit. I don't know what they use, but it looks real, it feels real, and they can even get patina on it to make it look aged. And Mr. Lum was adamant, you got to know somebody to get a real one. And he was adamant that he was going to get a real one. Well, it turns out they are extremely hard to come by, the real ones. So he literally went from his house, he went 100 miles to the Cambodian border, and he met with a tribe of Montagnards, and they took him way into the jungles. It was like a secret drug deal. And he gives them 100 bucks, and that's a lot of money over there. So he gives them 100 bucks, and plus they know who he is. And the next best thing to the fake ones are raised. They have people that raise these boars, like almost like farmed boars, and because they eat them too. And they get the tusk from them, but they don't really have the magic and the mojo because it has to be a wild boar, which are very hard to find now because people can make a lot of money, and for years they made a lot of money off of this stuff. You know, they kill them to eat them, but they would sell the tusks. And anyways, they went out, man, and hunted a righteous wild boar that they believe is about 20 years old, the boar that had this tusk. And you can see this brown color, this discoloration right here. This is from running up against trees and such throughout 20 years, and so it's permanently stained this thing. And the story of how he met with these guys, and then he had to meet with a jeweler to make this necklace, this chain. And you know, of course, right away they knew it was for American because the chain is so long and it comes down to his ankles. But he went to a jeweler back in Vietnam that he knows, that he's known for years. But even then, he knows how hard these are to get. So he put a secret little mark on this thing, and then he told the guy, whatever you do, don't fuck me over. Do not do a switch and put a fake one on this chain. This is for an American friend of mine, a brother. He looks at me as a brother, and he was afraid to let it go so that the guy could put it together and make get it on this chain and everything, and mount the hardware and such. So turns out it is the right one. He showed me the mark, and he's satisfied and I'm satisfied. But isn't that fucking cool, man? I mean, and you guys know how I feel about animals. I'm not a hunter, but you know what? Those people eat them, and the thing that makes the story so cool to me is that he went to so much trouble. And I just told you a very short story, but this took a lot of, like, contacts with another dude who went and told another guy, and went another 50 miles and says, look, man, it's Mr. Lum, we got to get him a real one. And so they went over there right along the border of Cambodia, and they hunted one of these things down, and here's my good luck charm. So how badass is that? So for you guys that are Vietnam vets, especially I have a good buddy of mine that's a Special Forces guy, Green Beret, that was fought in Vietnam, and he was training the Montagnards, and he was really impressed with this because he understands the meaning behind it and that kind of thing. So I wanted to share that with you guys, and I hope you got something out of it. I swear to God, man, I feel so fortunate, some of the people I know. And I did notice that on eBay, if you look at if you can get a real one, they're selling for, I don't know, between $200 and $300. But again, those are not wild boar tusks. Those are not tusks that were caught in the wild. Those are probably raised, farmed boars, and then they're not from that region, and they believe that these boars have to be from a certain area, and that's where this dude came from. So you guys will have the last giggle if one day you find out that I got freaking shot and killed and I was wearing this. But anyways, that's it, and I hope you guys are doing good. And I'm not going to make another video about the hurricane. I'll just go ahead and tell you. I'm in Virginia. I'm from California, so I have a lot of hurricane experience. I've been through one here that was nothing like what's going on there. But I did go down to Katrina as a law enforcement guy, and I helped out after that. And I was on 2 deployments down there, and I saw what happened out there. So take it serious, man. If you guys are anywhere in the Carolinas and you've been told to evacuate, I hope you do evacuate. If not, have your shit together. Make sure your pets are taken care of. Make sure all your pets have identification on them in case they get separated. That was a big thing down in Katrina, man. There were roving bands of dogs. Be thinking no electricity. That's what I'm thinking, because no matter what, we may not get hit with the huge part of it because I'm so far north in Virginia, but I'm anticipating a lot of heavy rain, a lot of high winds, so I'm going to take the precaution. Now, it's really cool because being a prepper, I don't have to go out and buy a bunch of shit, really. When I hang up with this video, I'm going to go buy some coffee creamer because I'm that way. Like, I drink foo-foo coffee now, thanks to my ex-wife. I used to drink my coffee black. Black is the ace of spades, man, and then I got married to my Peruvian wife, my first wife, and she made me a cup of super sweet fucking hazelnut coffee, and ever since then that's how I drink it. So I'm gonna do that, make sure I got that going on. Make sure you got a lot of batteries, the flashlights, things that you need. I got everything I need. I'm good to go. If we lose power for a few days or a week or whatever, we'll be good to go. The only thing that would be hard on us would be I have a lot of aquariums, so my fish, that might be a problem, but that's a small price to pay. I was telling my wife, I mean, it's a morbid thought, but somebody right now as I'm making this is alive and well, and things are good, and at the end of this whole hurricane thing, we're going to hear the statistics, and somebody's not going to be here. Somebody's going to die, and either electrocuted because of a fallen lines, or accidents trying to evacuate, or they're going to drown, or their house is going to fall down. It's terrible, but I guess that's just the nature of the beast. So don't let it be any of you. And you guys stay safe, and know that I'm thinking about you. I'm praying for you if you guys are in harm's way. All right. In the meantime, you guys take care, and LMS Tactical, I'm out.